Pew of the Virtual Intel channel, and we are at the MetaHuman Creator tool. And it is just, it's crazy. It's sensational what you can do, folks. I mean, man, it's most definitely epic. So what I've been able to achieve is pretty much I've taken some models from the Avatar SDK end of the spectrum. I don't know if y'all folks ever heard of Avatar SDK, but I know if you heard of MetaHuman and you've been watching this mesh to MetaHuman stuff, you probably are saying to yourself, okay, how do I get my 3D model of myself, or how do I get, something to work with my metahumans, to create metahumans that are unique and original? Well, there's a bunch of things that I've done. The first thing I did was I started out on this generated.photos website. So basically it's an AI, artificial intelligence type of software that's built onto the internet, and it generates photos. So what it does, it generates humans, images of humans, and you can go and select whichever ones you want. You can take the images and you can plug it in to, like I said, the Avatar SDK. So let me give you a good example. Say I wanted this guy right here, and I wanted to turn him into a 3D model. So let's go in and we're gonna click the download button. Now, before we do all of this stuff, I just wanted y'all folks to know that thanks a lot for showing up. If you choose to watch my live streams or whatever pre-recorded videos. Also, I would like to thank the developers of this website, generated.photos. I want to thank the developers of Unreal Engine, the MetaHuman Creator, and everyone responsible for everything that I'm about to show y'all folks today. Now, how I was able to figure this stuff out, pretty much what I'm doing today is creating a technique, or displaying what I created as a technique on Blender, of taking parts of the person's face. So say I use this image, brought it over to Avatar SDK, uploaded it, put it in, and created a 3D model. The problem with creating a 3D model here is that when you create the 3D model, you're going to have two different types that you can download. You can either download the full head like this. Both 3D models are going to be full heads that you can download, but when you download one of them, you're going to get all hair. And when you download another one, you're going to get pretty much a 3D model where you can change all the head features. You can change the hair to different hair. So this is a good thing, but the quality of both head models that you get is head 1.2, I believe, and head 2.0 on Avatar SDK. That's the versions that they have right now made available. The issue is that the head model, I believe, 1.2. So let me go back and show you real quick. So the head 1.2 actually is a much higher quality resolution of an actual 3D model. So when you generate this model, the model that comes out of it is going to look much higher in resolution, and everything's going to look much better. The only problem is that you can't remove the hair. So let me show you real quick. I'm just going to generate the model. It's going to take a little while, maybe like a minute or so you can see what I'm talking about. That way, when we get all the way to Blender, you'll understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it on Blender, and why I developed this technique, because this is something that anybody can do. Now, all it takes is a single image to get a 3D model on Avatar SDK. So I'll provide the links to everything that I'm talking about in this video. I just want y'all folks to see what's possible, what you can do with just a single image of maybe yourself or somewhere else. If you don't have an image of yourself, or you don't want to use an image of yourself and you want to create other 3D models, multiple 3D models, you can go to, like I said, generated .photos. Let me show you real quick the website. Okay, so it's https:// generated.photos. and it should bring you to this generated photos website. So from here, you can use the AI built in. All you have to do is click browse photos or generate a photo. So when you click browse photos, it gives you all of these differing people. And these are not real people, by the way, folks. These are just pretty much AI generated imagery of a human being. It looks real. So we're going to go download. Say I wanted to download this particular one. Download for free use, and then I'll put it in my archive, and I call the archive scan pics, just for shits and giggles, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna call her Mary. I got a whole bunch of them that I was testing and playing around with. I haven't done every single one and turned all of them into MetaHumans, but pretty much I'm just playing around just to see what I could do with it. So say I was to do it with this guy. Since I started off with him, I'll do it with him. Call him Paul. I don't know. Whatever. Save. And then bring it over to Avatar SDK and then create the model. So like I said, once you create the model, the hair is generally going to be the issue. Because if you bring the model as it is, like this with the hair, which has a much higher resolution, higher quality on the facial structure and everything, pretty much it's going to have an issue when you bring it over to Unreal Engine and you try to generate the 3D model that you're looking to generate. So let me show you over on Unreal Engine real quick some of the stuff I've been playing with, having fun. All kinds of different 3D models. I had Steph Curry, playing around with him, and some other 3D models. I have all kinds of different models that I was able to generate. I've probably got into generating about 50 or more. So I'm just having fun, pretty much experimenting and coming up with different things. So let me show you the model of her. So this is the model here. The first female that I showed y'all, the Asian lady. Her name, I called her Toy. Just having fun with that particular model. And this is how she looks here. And this is pretty much her face mesh. So what I did, I went on Blender and I pretty much took her frontal face, which is the higher quality, and I cut it out, which it also provides the Avatar SDK. One of the models, I don't know if both of the models do, but one of the models provide a really nice face mesh. You can go in and pretty much edit it out, and it actually has a shape and contour that looks like, you see, it looks like a little puzzle here of this face. So all you need is you go on Blender and you extract that particular face portion of the face mesh from, let's go back, I'm just giving you a brief summary, from this particular version. So version 1.2 of the Avatar SDK. It'll all come to make sense once I get to do it. I'm just showing y'all folks as a summary. So this head 1.2 is the version that you need to extract a small portion, which is basically this area over here of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. You take that and you overlay it on head 0.20, and you have to join those together on Blender. So I'm talking as if you know how to do 3D modeling. I know some people do, so I'm giving y'all folks who are basically not new to 3D modeling, who have experience, a head start while I'm doing this more like live stream / tutorial. Because some people may already know how to do 3D modeling and they don't need every little detail. But I'm going to show y'all folks from scratch how I got it all done. I'm just giving folks a head start. So whoever chooses to watch, if you're experienced or not, experienced users should already know by now at this point what I did. So this 3D model right here, head 2.0, you can change the hair. So you go up here where it says head cut, and you hit the back arrow and it gets rid of the hair. So you can get the bald version. And this is the actual model version that you really need over on MetaHuman. So when you bring it over to Unreal Engine and you're trying to get to your MetaHuman to, what do they call this thing? say you want to add, create the MetaHuman identity type of thing. Once you're getting into creating your MetaHuman identity can only be as good as you choose to make your model that you need to generate the actual MetaHuman. So you need one model, and you just need a bald head. You don't need hair. If you get hair in there, it's not going to work that good. Some people said to get rid of the neck. I don't think the neck really matters too much unless the neck is really elongated and thick or out of control, because all it's really focusing on is this part of the face. So what's going to generate, it's going to look at the model's shape. So it's basically going to generate the ears as if the ears are shaped the same way. It won't generate elf ears. If you try to bring ears all the way up, like, and you get an elf model looking type of 3D model in here, it's not going to generate that. It may actually lose sight of where the ears are at if you go too crazy with the ear shape. So I recommend keeping the ear shape to a minimum of a regular ear size. And the eyes, obviously, you don't want it too crazy. I mean, the nose, that does make a difference, because you want the nose to actually stand out and look like the actual model that you brought in. And then the lips, that matters as well. So where the positions of the lips are at, if the lips is too big or too small or medium size, I don't know what's the ranges of a lip size, but female size of lips is generally bigger than a male size of lips. You know, things like that. So all that stuff matters when you're trying to generate your model. So this is the actual model that was generated off of the tracking markers that you see here, that actually the MetaHuman plugin creates. So once you get your MetaHuman identity and you get all of that thing set up, just like all the tutorials that people have been posting about it, pretty much once you get it up in here, you want to have, like I said, let's go back, you want to have at least this facial portion here, but you want to have a full model head as well. So that's what I did. So I'm gonna go over to Blender to show you folks what I did once I got to Blender. So over on Blender, I basically took both models and I merged them together. So I cut out the face of the really high quality mesh and I merged it on top of the head model of the lower quality mesh, basically. So you can do that. You can cut out portions of the face mesh of any model, any 3D model, and merge it to another model. As long as you have the head, you have a bald head, and you have the frontal portion of the face, and you have all of this parts that's important. The eyes, like I said, this little portion of the eyes, and things like that. So let me go and undo real quick, just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Just for a quick summary, like I said, for those who, oops, went to redo by mistake. For those who have knowledge already and they can move with this thing. All right, so let me see if, there it is. All right. So this is the portion of the face that you need. So let me hide this one right here. So you can take any 3D model's face, and basically, as long as you have the shape of the nose and the shape of the lips and the shape of the eyes, you can merge it on top of any bald model, and that should fix the issues that you have with hair and the neck size and all that crazy stuff. If you have crazy things going on, and you can use Avatar SDK with any model that you want to make it work. Now, if you want like a really, really high quality custom model on as a MetaHuman, like high quality, like say you're doing specialized face shapes and stuff like that, like elongated faces and wide faces and all that, you want to go on Blender, obviously, and you can play with it. You can play with any model and just stretch out certain portions of the face, and that will go over and it will help you to elongate the face and do all kinds of different stuff. So with MetaHuman, this is the MetaHuman creator. It's available online through metahuman.unreal.com. Most of this stuff is through Unreal Engine that you're going to see as a final result. So I'm just bringing y'all folks as well towards this point, because this is where I'm going to move the model and the end product is going to show up over here in the MetaHuman creator. So I just wanted y'all folks to see, like I said, a brief summary of every little step that I went through, but eventually I'm going to merge it over here as a final end product. So the guy that I'm going to attempt doing it with live is this guy right here, and it's going to be pretty cool, hopefully. But I want to show y'all folks some of the models that I created. I created a bunch of them, so I'll just show y'all folks just a little brief, more like a overview. So this is the model that I generated through that Asian lady that I call Toy. So this is her. Let's see her original, if I can get back to it. Actually, her original image, I think I got it here. So that's her original image. Doesn't look 100% like her, but I'm not worried about the likeness. Really? What the freak? Where did it go? Well, it moved away. It wasn't supposed to move like that. But I'm not worried about her likeness looking identical. My concern is getting a model that's unique, that's original. To come up with original looking models, that's my technique. Now, to get her face to be accurate, like I said, you can face off and you can take the remove parts on Blender and then puzzle them together, join them together, things like that. So the whole purpose of this video is to show y'all folks the face-off technique, but I'm just giving y'all, like I said, a brief overview. So let's see this model. This is one weird looking model, elongated face. I was playing around. I did all kinds of different things. I use avatar tools. This particular one I used Adobe Fuse, which is a old school tool that was actually made available through Adobe. It first was Mixamo Fuse. Mixamo got bought out by Adobe, and then they had this tool known as Adobe Fuse, and then Adobe got rid of it, but it's still available out there on Steam. So it would behoove you to go check out that Fuse, let's see, F-U-S-E. So if you want to create unique models, let's do Mixamo. Type in Mixamo Fuse. All right, so on Steam, it's available. So if you want to create very wild looking models, elongated faces, all kinds of different things, you can go through this. You might have to get another secondary package that would be tied to your computer to bring out the more extreme model shapes. So you can play with the head shape over here with a model and then export it just as a head shape. And as you can see, it really is cool what you can do with it. And this was an old school tool many years ago, but you can use it now for MetaHuman Creator, because why not? You know, if you get a nice mesh, a head mesh, just move it over to Blender, play around with Blender if you need to, or just move it directly into Unreal Engine UE5, and boom, with the MetaHuman plugin, you can just go, you know, have fun, go apes bananas. And this is the stuff that I'm creating. This is one guy, I call him Talon. Some of the other iterations I was just playing around, they not finished. So, I mean, I got a lot of models, man. I'm telling you, it's really awesome what you can create with the MetaHuman Creator. So you just go to town, have fun, do different things, but you'll start to learn your limitations once you get to a certain point. Like this guy, I wanted him to have elf ears, but he can't because the MetaHuman Creator doesn't want to make the ears pointy. Certain things you cannot do. Here goes another guy. This guy, I call him Hulk Bogan. Just playing around with names. So Hulk Bogan. This is Hulk Bogan. He's like a wrestler dude. He loves cats. As you can see, I put some cats on his t-shirt. And I got some other customization things that I could show y'all folks with the MetaHuman clothing. I learned within the MetaHuman Creator. You don't have to go outside of it. You can have a lot of fun. But you just have to be patient with what you do. And this is the guy, I'm basically hosting his image through this live stream. So one guy, this guy went really crazy on him. I was playing around with my own face sometime, you know, at certain points I was just jumping into avatar creators and trying to come up with images that I could throw into Avatar SDK. And I come up with this guy. I call him Cloud Boy. Just a name that I came up with a long time ago because I was into cloud computing for a while, and I just had fun creating websites and stuff like that in the past. And that was one of my names was Cloud Explorer out there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people remember that if they've heard of it before. I did blogs and all that, and it was fun. But now I've turned this character into Cloud Boy to kind of represent a lot of the stuff that I've done in the past. So maybe he can become a character of some sort of cartoon or some sort of I would think that New Age cartoons would have more like human looking qualities and stuff like that that could resemble real humans. I'm thinking along the lines of that for future projects, maybe a video series on YouTube or whatever. We'll see. But that was a fun character. This one I wanted y'all folks to see this one. This one really stands out. She got like that Pippi Longstocking look in her face. I really love her eyes. Her nose shape is amazing. Everything about her just is stunning to me. Even her clothes, like how I decked out her clothes, gave her like kind of like the little girl bottoms with the cute, the cute stars and stuff like that. I really went hard with this character, and I love the fact of her afro, how it just works with her, and she got these freckles that really stand out. So, you can go in and you can do some amazing stuff with MetaHuman Creator. There's tons of people coming up with tons of stuff. I got even kids that you can come up with. You can create little kids, but these are from actual avatars, like little small tiny avatars, avatar faces, 2D images that I turned into MetaHumans. So I'll show y'all folks that as well in the future. I mean, it's just unlimited what you could do. Is so many different styles of creation. You just have to use your creativity and use the tooling to the best of your ability, and you can come up with some amazing looks. So that's some of the stuff I've been playing around with. So like I said, if you want to do all of this stuff, just hang around, check out some more of the videos that I have to offer. I have tons of stuff that I plan in the future with the MetaHuman Creator. So, all right, now let's go back to Avatar SDK, because this was one of the first tools that I used that actually helped me to learn how to do all this stuff. So let's go all the way back, and cheers to the developers of Avatar SDK. Y'all guys and gals are amazing, what you was able to do. You have made this pipeline possible. The avatars and the 3D models that generate from them are really unique as well. So I highly recommend for folks to try their tools. It will help you to do a lot of different stuff in 3D. So the whole purpose of using their stuff is to generate a 3D model in general. But my purpose is transformative, obviously. So it is amazing what you can do. So let's go in, and we're going to go find Paul and start at this moment right now. Let's see how smooth I can make this transition. So we're going to bring Paul in, and then we're going to generate. And then we're going to use the 2.0 head first, so you can see what I was talking about. So if y'all folks have any questions, feel free to ask any questions. This is a live session, by the way. So I've been doing lives on YouTube for a while because I got kind of lazy, and I just decided I want to come up with whatever I could do in 3D in a live format, just to show folks that, I'm real, I'm genuine, and I'm doing things according to my learning curve. Whatever I learn, I'm not the best at 3D. I'm not super duper knowledgeable about everything, but I am knowledgeable to some extent about things that I've learned, and that's pretty much it in terms of 3D. So I've been doing 3D for about 4 years now, trying to get better at it. So as you can see, this model here, you can't really zoom in. I wish I could zoom in on it, but it does not look like him that much. I mean, it has some of the general shapes and contours of his face and head, but it's missing a lot of aspects and elements. So what I do is I just go to the haircut area, and I just take away the hair, because this is the base model mesh that I want on the bottom. And on the top, I'm going to take the 1.2 version. So what we're going to do is download it, create a dedicated folder for him. So I'll go to where I got all my avatars, and I'll create a folder. So right click, new folder, and call it Paul. And then name his model folder, and then go in it. So show in folder at the bottom of this is I think it's Google Chrome web browser. Show in folder, right click, extract all, and then extract it. So it comes in as a zip folder, so you have to extract it in order to get to the actual folder. So inside Paul's folder, you got a model.mtl. You need that for Blender, for it to basically detect all of the different data. You got model.obj and you got model. So these are just the way that they named it by default from the Avatar SDK software. And this one right here, this is like one of the maps, the main maps for the face. So basically it goes in and maps over the UVs over in Blender. That's a little too technical for the average person who's brand new to 3D, but pretty much when you learn about UV mapping and stuff like that, you'll learn that this is how they get all of the material data on the face. So it's basically like a what they call it, a UV map for a face to be wrapped over the UV map. It's not a UV map, but it's the map data. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to Blender, and in this file, I'm just gonna use the same file because I have everything set up already, and I'll just hide her face and I'll bring it in here. So these are the other models I was playing with, just testing, and this is a phasing in when I chopped up a lady's face and her head became really distorted. I got rid of the hair. I listened to somebody online and somebody who created another video. I got rid of the hair and I got rid of the neck, but it didn't work. So I needed to have the full head of the model. So that one was a fail. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go File, Import. I mean, it wasn't 100% fail, but the generated model that showed up on Unreal Engine through the MetaHuman identity thing, it just didn't look good. So that's why I considered it a fail. So we're gonna look for is Paul. This is his folder. And then I'm gonna go in and basically import the model.obj. Import, and it's gonna show up all the way at the top. I don't know why the heads are showing up at the top, but that's what it's doing. Should show up at the bottom, at the origin point. But I guess I'm having a little glitch with that. I'm not sure on Blender. So what I choose to do, I go in and I go to Object and go to Shade Smooth, so that way it becomes more of a high resolution model than a lower scale resolution. You want the scale of the resolution of the pixel, or not pixels, but the vertices to be as high as you can get it. So when you bring it over to Blender, it actually won't detect all the defects, and it will detect the highest possible quality that you can get as a 3D model. So that's the head 2.0. So we're gonna go back to Avatar SDK, hit the back button, and then we're gonna go into head 1.2 and generate that one. So the whole purpose of doing this process, like I said, is to take the face, the more accurate pixel slash, not pixels, but the vertices. So the more accurate vertices from the face mesh, and extract it. So we're going to take his face mesh here, which now you can see it's much higher quality. His nose is probably more likely to match the sizing of the nose there than the other model, because you can see it looks more like him. Looks very close to him. And this is where Avatar SDK scores. They're really, really great at recreating the frontal portions of the face. The hair may not look the same. It doesn't matter, because we don't need the hair. We want to get rid of the hair, actually, because that's going to distort the model's head shape when you bring it over to Unreal Engine and MetaHuman Creator. So let's go to download. All right, so we're going to download this. Call it Paul 01. I don't know. This is another zip folder. Within the Paul folder, we're going to open it, extract it. Okay, and then we're going to X both of those out. We don't need that no more. We just need to bring it into Blender. So we're going to go File, Import, Wavefront.obj, and then we're going to move to the next folder, Paul01, and then Model OBJ. And boom. So now he's in there. It looks like they overlapping. Well, they should be anyway. So what we're going to do is go to... Now, I want to go to View and go to Frame Selected. So what that's going to do is allow me to get closer to the head. Because Blender, for some reason, it has a way where it limits the proximity of your zoom in when it's by default. So if you select the object and you go View, Frame Selected, it will bring you closer to the vertices. So let me just separate them so you can see them differently from one and the other. So the main difference, as you can see, is going to be the nose. So we go to Object, Shade Smooth, and you can tell that the nose is slightly different in shape. And also the contour of the nose here will look a lot different. This one's straight. This one has a little curve in it. So obviously we want the higher quality face shape, which is this one. So what you're going to do is, to get rid of the hair and get rid of all of the issues here, you basically have it selected, or you left click it, go to edit mode, and then you left click so that it's no longer highlighted. You don't want anything highlighted. And now we're going to zoom in. So we zoom in, and what we can do is hide the other head because we don't want it in a way. So we'll just hit the H key, or we can move it, just move it out the way. Let's just move it out the way because I have other stuff hidden in the background. So let's select this head, go to edit, and what you want to do here is you want to highlight all of the pixels that's within that kind of a face contour, mapped out face contour that you saw with the Asian lady, the toy lady. So now another thing is, you have this toggle X-ray. You want that to be deselected because you don't want to go through. If you have this toggle X-ray, when you select vertices, the vertices are going to go all the way through the head. You don't want to do that on Blender. So you want to make sure that that's toggled off. So when you grab vertices and you highlight vertices, you can highlight it and grab it with ease. So what I'm going to do, I want to see if there's vertex groups. There might be vertex groups where I could easily just grab that in one selection. So you're going to go and look for the vertices and vertex groups, and there is no vertex groups because it would show up right here if you had any vertex groups. But it does look like it's grouped together, but it's just the way that the Avatar SDK software designed it. So whoever developed it, they designed it to have that really cool shape so you can rip it out basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the circle select by using the C key, and I'm just going to use my left click mouse button and highlight everything that I can highlight, that I want to highlight, I should say. So what you want to get close to the vertices, and you want to just highlight all of these around the rim of this circular portion. You don't want everything. So to speed it up, you can move fast if you want, and then just deselect the ones outside of it that you don't want. So you just move kind of quick if you want to. So I'll just do this quick. And I apologize that this is live, but I shouldn't really apologize for live. But you know, it's not, I can't just like zoom past this portion because everything's live. So if you have any questions, this would be a good point to ask some questions in the text. and I'll go in and just drop in and see what I can answer. But this portion, just bear with it. It takes a little time. So to remove vertices, you depress the mouse scroll wheel. To select vertices, you just use your left click mouse button and highlight them by moving over with the circle select. So Blender takes time to learn. I mean, it's not really that hard. It's just meticulous stuff that you have to do. It's time consuming, just like anything else in the world that has high details and a lot of options. Basically, Blender has tons of options, so you can get lost in the sauce of where you're at or what you're supposed to be doing at that moment in time for what you're trying to get out of Blender. So you have to know what not to do, what to do, obviously. So that's what it is with Blender. What I'm going to do now is just go down and rotate so I can get everything in the nose, because I want to get every element just in case if I have issues, which I shouldn't have any issues on Unreal Engine with this portion of the nose because of not adding these parts, but I just don't want anything to go wrong. So in order to alleviate having to lose time, I'm doing it while I'm here. Also, inside the mouth, you might have some vertices. I don't think you really need every single vertex inside the mouth, but I'm doing this just in case, just to grab as many as I can see. You don't really have to go inside the mouth. You could go in the mouth by zooming in, and you can see the teeth and the tongue and all that. That's how it was modeled, but you don't have to. Alright, so because I did it the first time, I didn't have any problems because I did not have to go all the way into the mouth. So yeah, you want all of the eyes, obviously, because the shape of the eyes, you want that to show up on Unreal Engine. If you don't have the shape of the eyes, then the tracking markers are not going to track it. It does say that in the documentation in the Unreal Engine info for this actual plugin. So the plugin, the MetaHuman plugin that is for Unreal Engine, they have a documentation out there, and I covered that in one of my live streams. I covered a great deal of it. I went over an hour on that live stream just to basically showcase in detail to those who are brand new to MetaHuman and don't have no idea how any of this stuff works. I mean, not everybody is in the same timing or time zone with reference to learning about this stuff, so some people may be catching up, you know. So that's why I do videos like this. When I go into great detail, I want people to know more than less, because the average Joe is not going to go in and spend that much time on it. They're going to basically cover stuff quickly and then move fast because they're thinking that people are going to have a short term I guess not memory, but you know, people have a short what do they call that thing? Short attention span. So hold on, I'm just trying to get this thing done while I'm thinking at the same time. So it's kind of hard. Bear with me with that. It's kind of hard to focus on this and talk and iterate everything that I'm doing. All right, so that's pretty much most of it. As accurate as I can get it. The eyes may have a little of the vertices not highlighted, so I just zoom in closer to the eyes and then collect whatever vertices I can get under the eyelids. All that is very, very important. It's crucial because when you go over to try to map out and track, it's going to try to detect all the 3D elements. That's what the AI software is built to do for that plugin. That plugin for MetaHuman is pretty advanced. I'm pretty sure it's an AI. So it goes in and it does its detection stuff. And you want all these vertices to be as accurate as you can get it. Even the ones you want to exclude. You don't want to have too many vertices in there. I'm just excluding the ones that I don't want to show up, and I'm making sure that I have, oops, if you mess up, you just go to edit and go undo. So for some reason my circle select went away. Alright, so I'm just fine tuning and checking to make sure all my vertices are selected. I don't have any breaches in vertices, because when I choose to remove this portion of the face from the other portions of the face, I want it to be solid. I don't want it to have any gaps or any holes, so to speak. Alright, so that's everything. Oh, and then I have a little bit additions over here I have to get rid of. So these I have to get rid of because that's not part of the mask. It's like a mask, pretty much. Face mask. Alright. There's a few vertices here that I don't want. You can always get closer. If you want to get much closer, hold on. You use the control key and the mouse scroll wheel, and you can zoom in to get even closer. I just want to make sure that I grab or get rid of the vertices I don't want. Don't want those extra vertices. Alright. That should be good. I'm not worried too much about any super close vertices because I didn't really get this fine-tuned when I did it the first time. So pretty much what you do at this point, you want to use your oh, hold on, there's a few more over here. Alright, at this point you want to use the control key and the D key, I believe. So control D, and allows you to duplicate. No. It's a shift D. Okay, shift D. So you use the shift key and the D key on the keyboard, on your keyboard, and then you can duplicate that part of the mask, and then just move it over, get it out the way, and then you want to highlight everything else and delete it. So we're going to do box select. So use the B key on the keyboard, highlight everything else, and just hit the delete vertices, or hit the delete key on your keyboard and then go to vertices. Okay, that was a little error right there. So go undo, left click select. So you deselect the vertices, then you do B and highlight everything. Okay, and then the other thing what you want to do is make sure you toggle the X-ray so you can select everything behind, because you want to get rid of all the vertices or else it won't select everything. And then hit the delete key on the keyboard and then vertices, so that makes it go away. Now we go to edit mode, object mode, up here in the upper left corner, and now we can bring that mask over to the other model, or bring the other model to the mask. Now what you want to do, this takes a little finagling, so you want to play with both so that you can get one to overlay the other. Now I did try playing around with deleting the other mask's frontal face, but that didn't work too good when I first tried it. So what's smarter is you just try to get the general sizing and reference positions. So you just move it, and you'll notice you're gonna have little partitions, little like puzzle piece cracks in the face. So if you see and you notice that, what you want to do is play around with rotation. So the rotation, because if you move it back, you'll see that the nose doesn't fit. If you move it back where the skin touches, see around this part, the bridge of the head and the nose area or eyebrows area touches there, but the nose is not the same shape. So you can obviously see that the full head that's still there, the bald one, has a more straighter nose. See that? So the problem with that is that what I need to do is just rotate this one. So I go to the rotate tool and go off the red x-axis, it'll allow me to rotate a little bit so I could kind of fit it. And now you see like the skin looks like it's gonna fit. And the lips as well. So what I want to do now is go to resize or scale and then try to push it out or push it in. That way, if the nose is off by any sizing and shape, I can reposition it based on the scale. So now all I have to do is overlay. See how the nose is just not wide enough? The other one is wider on the bottom. So let me just widen it out a little bit. And there it's almost the same width. Some of this stuff may take a little finagling, like I said. It's not the exact same shape. But you just want to get one in front of the other one. So you want the lower one, or the I guess the face mask, to be in front of the other one. Doesn't have to be exact. So let me just move it one more time. I think this should fit the nose. So whichever way you get this to work for you, that's the best way to make it work. Doesn't have to be exact. So I don't know if I should push it back anymore, but I think this should be fine, because what I noticed on Unreal Engine, it doesn't have to be touching. So we can try it like this and see if it works. Just pull it up forward a little bit more so that the eyes is not exactly touching. You don't want the eyes touching, because then it's going to cause conflict. So like around there should be good. And all it's going to do is detect this frontal part. So what we want to do is shift select and shift select both of the models. And then we're going to go Control J, and that joins them. So now the models are joined, even though the skin is not touching. So what we're going to do is take the model, or models, they're tied together, and export it as a FBX. And we're going to go back to Paul's folder and export. And you want to have this selected where it says limit to selected objects in this area in the right side. And you want the mesh to be selected only. And custom properties should bring in the textures. If you check the check mark for custom properties and then hit export, that should be good enough for Unreal Engine to detect it. And it's going to show up in here in the Paul folder. So let's see, did it show up? I don't know. Should have showed up here. I don't see it. Whatever the case may be, let's go over to Unreal Engine and see if we can pull it out. Now, you don't have to merge the model in through the viewport, through the default viewport of Unreal Engine, where you build all your stuff, you make your game and all that. You don't have to put it in there. Just go to Content Drawer for Unreal Engine 5 and then create a folder for it. So you can right click in a space that's empty and then go New Folder. We're going to call it Paul. Double click it. And then you can right click here if you want, or you can go to Add, either way. And then if you have the MetaHuman plugin tied in, this part should work easily and seamless. But if you don't have the MetaHuman plugin tied in, you want to go to Edit, go to Plugins, and then you want to go type in MetaHuman. And then you want to left click and check it here. If you don't got it, if you don't have the plugin on your plugins area, that means that you never got the MetaHuman plugin from the Unreal Marketplace. So you got to go to the Unreal Marketplace on the website or through the Epic Games launcher and then type in MetaHuman and then get the plugin from there. So it starts with the Epic Games launcher, basically, where you got to get it. But you can extract it from the Epic Games website to get it onto the Epic Games launcher on your desktop, on your computer. So that's that. So let's go back. So we're going to right click, go to MetaHuman. That's the only time that MetaHuman option is going to come up, where you can get MetaHuman identity. And then we're going to call him, we're going to type Paul with 2 L's, because I noticed that my naming conventions will clash for some reason when I'm trying to do MetaHuman identity and trying to bring in different things. All right, so you double click the MetaHuman identity, and this basically is what the plugin creates. It creates a new asset where you can go in and manipulate different things for the asset. So the main thing is this components from mesh. So you just hit this little arrow or this area here in the upper left corner, and then you go and scroll down and you go find that particular mesh that you brought in. Now I didn't bring the mesh in, so what it's going to do is look through all of the meshes that I have available on this project. So let me go back. So you can exit out if you want, or you can minimize, doesn't matter, because those are just secondary, more of modules that pop up. So we're going to go in and we're going to import. So use the import button, or you could right click and go in the top and go import. It's the same thing. We're going to go and find Paul, and it's called toy. Okay, that's what it is. So let me cancel it. Let me make sure I go back, and this is not the female character. The reason why it's called toy is probably because I didn't change the name. So when I went to export as a FBX, the toy naming convention came up for my last iteration that I created. So I'm gonna call it Paul. Export so that everything works the way it's supposed to. So let's go to the Paul folder, get out of here, and then get rid of the toy one. Delete that. That way it doesn't cause any confusion. All right, we're out of that, and we're going back to Unreal Engine to finish that portion. All right, so right click, import. Did a little troubleshooting to get this to be the right one. Hold on. Avatars, Paul. So now we have the Paul folder, or Paul file. Open. And then here we don't have to worry about too much because I have it all set up by default. This is a project that I've been working on already. You don't really have to worry too much. You just have to make sure that the textures are in there. Depending on your model, you may have to choose a certain option here. I never really had to do anything. I just went import all. And what you care about is the textures and obviously the 3D model. Hit the X. You don't have to worry about that message that comes up. Go to content drawer. And your model should come in with all the textures and everything built in. If it has those issues, you double click the actual mesh and you go and you edit out the texture, so you can get the textures in. So we're going to double click the MetaHuman identity now that Paul's in there, because that means that he's going to be detected once you go to component from mesh. So now we're going to look for Paul. You can type it in there if you want, but we'll just scroll it down. It's alphanumeric, so look for the P. So here it is after M. P comes after M. So it's right there. So what you want to do is scroll and zoom in, and you'll see that the face is chiseled out. What I'm doing is depressing the mouse and then zooming in, moving the mouse in to get closer. Some people that go in over here in the upper left corner where it says view menu, and then they'll type in like 15 or 20 for the focus. It's not working. Hold on. I think I gotta go in and double click it. There we go. 15. Hit enter, and then it zooms in and focuses just on that portion of the face. And then what you want to do is use this for your what you want to promote. So you're going to promote the frame. What promoting the frame does is basically locks in that particular frame and it becomes a 2D image. And Blender will use that 2D image to track the face, but keep in mind that the structure of the actual model's head will be detected as well. So that's why when you have the hair in there, the hair is going to be detected and it's going to create a huge head. You don't want that. Or else you have to go in on the MetaHuman creator and then do some edits and adjustments. So you don't have to do all that. You can just, like I said, take the face out and then go in and you'll be able to extract the data and get more accurate. And it should work the same way, but a little bit more better when it comes to creating. So let's see if it's going to create. We're going to go to body. Select any body, doesn't matter. You can go in and adjust it. Once you get to the MetaHuman creator, you're going to go to neutral pose. Once you go to neutral pose, it gives you the ability to promote that frame. So you select promote frame, then it locks in. It does frame 0. You can retitle this if you want. That doesn't really matter. What matters here is to track the active frame. So it's going to go and track the data, the mesh data that you put in. So I'm going to go track, and it definitely tracked the eyes very accurate, because I have it chopped out in a really good accurate shape, and it tracked the nose and everything, the lips. So we're going to go to hit the B. See, now you're not going to see the model yet, so the model won't be here. This is where you can toggle between model view and the frame view. Once you hit MetaHuman Identity Solve, that's when it's going to bring up the model match. So it's going to go in and use this tracking data to mirror the model's shape. So we're going to hit B. Actually, sorry, not B. MetaHuman Identity Solve. Then we hit B. So there we go. And once it's done, then you hit B. And you'll see that the model should be shaped almost identically. See, it caught the ears, it caught the head shape, it caught everything. Everything is pretty much an identical map. Even the neck shape. So if the neck was elongated or super big or whatever, it would become a problem at this point. But for this particular case, it didn't. And the eyes actually are really accurate. If you look, the eye shape is very, very accurate. Even the bridge of the nose, even though I have that additional mesh that's built in. So you can use this face-off technique to get a really accurate nose, really accurate lips. You know, like you can improve on your accuracy, and definitely using the Avatar SDK. So that's one thing that I wanted y'all folks to see, and this pretty much ends my live stream. But let's go and show y'all folks the mesh to MetaHuman portion. So you just click and select mesh to MetaHuman. What you have to wait is maybe about 1 minute to 2 minutes or so. Might even take longer depending on your computer. And it will tell you when it's ready. But make sure you're logged in to your Quixel bridge, as well as on the MetaHuman creator. That should help you to speed up the process to have when you're logged into both of them. Well, actually, you won't even be able to use this if you're not logged into the Quixel bridge. So you should be logged into Quixel bridge through Unreal Engine 5 at least. That's the bare minimum. So it's going to prompt you and ask you to log in once you try to create a MetaHuman identity. So it's just taking a little time. Mine's taking much more than 1 minute, but it should be done soon. This is waiting for MetaHuman backend. So it's going in and connecting to the cloud, tying into the MetaHuman bridge through the Quixel bridge, and it's going to make it available on the Quixel bridge. Now it says your MetaHuman is now available in Creator and Bridge in the My MetaHuman section. And you click OK or hit the X, and then that's it. So now we're out of it. We're no longer needing Unreal Engine at this point when it comes to generating that MetaHuman. So now all we have to do is go over to MetaHuman.unrealengine.com. So I'll make sure I provide the links to it. MetaHuman.unrealengine.com pretty much. And then you go and click the latest version. So the most upgraded version, which is the blue button for Unreal Engine 5. and then you just wait. It's going to take a little while for it to communicate because they limit the amount of usage on it. So you only got like an hour per session. You're not basically able to utilize it all the time. So it's one of those cloud-based tools / software. It's not something that's going to happen where you get to use it, you know, whenever you want to use it all the time. I mean, you actually can use it whenever you want, but if you use it up to an hour, it's going to end that session, and then you're going to have to start another hour session, basically. So it gives you drip by drop usage, 1 hour at a time sessions. So that's that. So it's coming up. It's going to be done. So there goes my MetaHuman. It looks like it has a little eye issue. So if you're having any issues when it's blinking, you can see and notice it, or eyelash issues and things like that. Maybe the eyes are off just a little bit, slightly. You can go in and edit it. So we're going to hit edit, selected, and we're going to go in and let's go to custom mesh and enable editing. Now at this point you could duplicate if you want to basically play around, and you say you want to keep that particular mesh that you had, or you want to make multiple meshes off of one mesh. Well, that's up to you. So you can duplicate and unlock. So it's going to go in and it will duplicate that previous one, so the base model that you created, and then you'll be able to manipulate the first one or leave the other one for last, you know. So let's go unlock only, because I don't really care about that. I don't want to have too many duplicates as well. So we're going to go to skin, assign skin, put in some sort of skin texture. That doesn't look too bad for the character that I tried to create. So let's go back to the face of that guy. So that's him right here. And it's not going to look identical, obviously, but the nose does look similar. I think the nose looks similar. But you can go in and try to like match everything, match the hair, go back and forth, and then try to get the same resemblance of that character. But that's not my purpose here. My purpose here is to extract the face and get accuracy as to what I want, but most definitely to create a unique character, something that's different from my previous characters that I developed, or any other character that's on, you know, on the web, online, or being used by another creator. So that's my whole purpose, is to come up with unique characters, not to actually recreate myself, or to create a super accurate character. I don't really care about that too much. So let's go in. We're gonna go let's do the head, play with the hair a little bit. I don't know what kind of hairstyle he got, if it's gonna match or not. Maybe he got this kind of hairstyle. I don't know. I don't know what kind of hairstyle he got. It looks a little different, whatever. But that's pretty much it. That ends my session. Joe love and peace to all. Mike Pugh signing off. In the future, I'll show y'all folks more about, you know, how to create unique characters and things like that. Maybe we can get into the wild looking face shapes, and I don't know, whatever. It's all about having fun and basically doing what you feel that is as creative as possible. Come up with as high creativity, as high accuracy of what you want to detail. I have one live stream that I'm planning, or maybe a pre-recorded video, to show y'all folks how to really customize the MetaHuman's face. So you can go in and you can detail things. You can go and use sculpting and things like that. You can change the contours and make it look exactly the way you want it to look, based on the limitations that they have available. Because some of the stuff is limited. In terms of the model itself, like, you're only going to get the shape that you provide, that base mesh model on Unreal Engine 5. So you're not going to really go that far with it. And then it limits you on the Unreal Engine MetaHuman Creator. So like the chin will only go but so far. They have only certain limits that you could reach. So once you go from that base mesh, it may give you a really, really unique looking model. and then from there you can play around within respect to certain limits. Like I was saying, like the ear, it won't turn into elf. It limits it. It stops right there. So you can't like pull the ear too far out. Now, when you go over to Unreal Engine and say you got another tool on Unreal Engine, you might be able to utilize some sort of a mesh deformer or morpher type of tool in conjunction with, you know, the different things that you can do on the Unreal Engine itself, on Unreal Engine 5. So maybe there you can pull the ear pieces and make it longer or whatever. So it depends on whatever third-party tools you have out there. But in terms of on here, no, you won't be able to do that. But you can go in and fix some of this stuff, like the eyes. I forgot to talk about that. You go in and you go to custom mesh. Make sure, like I said, when you do that duplicate thing or unlock, once you do that, it allows you to play around with the custom mesh. So you can change the influence, which changes the eye shape, contour, and when the character's blinking or whatever, it won't look as messed up. So you can get close to see if it's having any major issues by zooming in, and that looks better from what the original look actually had. So yeah, so I'm gonna go in and I'll show y'all folks in other videos how to do the body. Well, the body parts you can't really go in and edit out much, so you get just some basic proportions. So like you can get a big body, small body, skinny body, things like that. Muscular, a little bit muscular body. You can do that kind of stuff, but that's about it. So I don't need to do live streams on that because that's simple. It's general. It's not something that's too detailed, because you can only do but so much. But with this, you can go in and customize. You can go in and do details and graphics, stuff like that. Everybody's doing that, but you can go in and do even more fine-tuned with all the different options that you have available. So it would behoove you to play around with all these options that you see here. When you click them, it activates them. And some stuff you won't be able to change the graphics. Like you can't go in and change the graphics on the clothes and stuff. And some stuff you can, depending on what you choose in terms of the clothing. So like, say I chose this shirt, I can't use the graphics here. See, because the developers made it and set it out for certain clothing, for you to only be able to play with certain clothing, basically. So in terms of the graphics, but you can go in and you can play around with the colors and stuff like that. So I'll show y'all folks all of those kind of things, and high fine-tuned customizations on the skin, how to get more accurate looks, and rendering, not rendering, but the ability to get a better quality photorealistic look. Like depending on what you choose to set, you can go to over here, go to Epic, set it at ray traced, and then you can use these as images. You can go like zoom in by full screen. You hit the X button here, and then you can zoom in different positions, play around with the studio, stuff like that. So you can do all those things, but you can go into deeper into the skin adjustments and get different texture, different color, contours, and all kinds of stuff. So I'll do some tutorials on those things from what I've been able to do to make that character look even better, instead of it just looking bland. Like you see when it first comes out, it doesn't have any special details in the customizations, so it doesn't look that creative besides the base mesh model that you have and just some hair put on it. So you can go in and do much more to it. But other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all folks next time. Joy, love, and peace to all. Mike Pugh is signing off, and I'm out. Oh, and hold on 1 second. I didn't see if there was any questions. Let's see. Did anybody ask any questions? I don't think so. I don't see any comments. Let me go over on the other end of the spectrum through OBS Studio, and there's no comments. All right, good. So y'all don't have any questions? We're good. Peace.